Guys, how are you all doing today? It's a Friday, and for me, it has been a moving day. I've actually moved apartments, not apartments, I've moved rooms. I was in the upper room, and this room became available, which is much more spacious, and I decided to take it up. Let me just show you around a little bit, but don't worry, it's still a little bit of a mess. I've been doing some cleaning from morning. I have cleaned up the bathroom, which is looks much better than the rest of the room. So let me show you the bathroom. So yeah, I've thorough cleaned the sink and the mirror. Oh my god, it's a little bit scratched up. Yeah, so cleaned up the mirror. It looks much better than how I found it. The tub, the toilet. Yeah, so this is the situation. And then for this room I also have like this extra space here that I've decided to put my clothes to dry. And then the rest of the area, let me stand from afar. Yeah, so there is that extra space that I didn't have in the other room. I have my water there. I have put my suitcases there just to leave this other side of the room like a bit more spacious. Yeah, that is the second bed, which is not occupied, of course, and that is my side of the room. So yeah, as you can see, it is way much bigger, more spacious. Yeah, and this is my sort of like office space, or what do I say? Yeah, that is my laptop. That is where I sit when I'm editing, and also just watching my movies. Yeah, that is my lighting. So yeah, there is not much going on around here. So the upside, one of the upsides of this lockdown is that we've been having food provided, like 3 square meals, lunch, breakfast, lunch, dinner, every single day, and we have more than enough to eat, honestly. And I'm glad that today I'm having, let me show you, like whatever, like lamb biryani. This is the first time we are getting like lamb biryani. Mostly it is chicken biryani. We've been eating so much chicken, it's crazy. And because I get some sort of reaction with chicken, I try to minimize, but there is always some green gram stew along with it, and rice. So we've been having so much rice. But sometimes, because actually what they do is that they provide African menu and Asian menu and Filipino menu, and of course we get African menu. And the African menu has been having like so much fish and so much chicken. Maybe they assume we are all lawyers. Yeah, but that has been one of the upsides, that I rarely have to go to the kitchen unless I have to make like oatmeal in the morning, because for breakfast they provide mostly either, like, what do I say, like either, mostly they provide egg and bread, and then maybe you have to prepare yourself a cup of tea for the Africans. And for me, I prefer like to make oatmeal for breakfast. So that is the only time I have to go to the kitchen. Otherwise, the rest of the time, it's just warming the food in the microwave and straight to eat. So that is one of the upside. And then maybe for the downside is that I have not seen the outside of our gate literally for a month. It's crazy. Like, I've been locked up within these gates, like within the 4 walls of our fence for the last 1 month. When it comes to going to work, I actually came back to working in the camp, like working from home. And because we have a camp office, I was deployed like back to the camp office. So I've been continuing to go to work even during the lockdown, and that is actually an upside. And yeah, sometimes I've had to work like really late, even up to 2 a.m. maybe when there is like something that really needs to be taken care of before the morning. like maybe making sure people are attending duty at a certain location when it's maybe a short notice. Then I just have to make sure that everyone that is supposed to go is informed before morning and send that report. So yeah, sometimes I've had to work really late, and sometimes like I've had to go without off days. But I'm not complaining, because I know just staying idle, like in the room in the name of lockdown, can be very boring and can get into your head and can turn you into like a sort of crazy bitch or something. So yeah, when it comes to church, of course you're not able to go out, but we usually attend like online services on Facebook or via Zoom. We also usually have like sort of not discipleship classes, but we've been attending some like workers in training classes. We had started that before the lockdown in church, and now we continue maybe twice a week also via Zoom. So Zoom has been a helpful tool, like for attending church services or for attending like church activities like training. Yeah, and other than that, when it comes to social life, of course, I told you that I still have to go to the office, and there are a few of us that get to work in the office for a couple of hours during the day, and during that time is when I get like some form of human interaction. Like I interact with my colleagues, maybe when we are just organizing ourselves to make sure everybody gets their food, and yeah, and just attending to other like stuff in the office. So that is the time that we joke, we laugh, and of course when outside the walls of these rooms, then I have to put on my mask, and I have to put on like protective goggles, or what else, and okay, when supplying food, maybe also with a hairnet. But that has been the situation around here. To say but the least, we are healthy. During the first like week, or maybe the first 2 weeks during the lockdown, is when we had like people like falling sick, a lot of people like being taken away by ambulances. And honestly, we went into some serious prayer. I wouldn't say everyone, but I remember a friend of mine telling me that she had this dream that she went to the hospital and her blood was being drawn, and the doctors were marveling at her blood, because they were saying that her blood was unique and it was strange, and her blood could be used to cure people with COVID-19. And like it was like a dream that was sort of very real. And yeah, and so I just so thought that that is like a very strange phenomenon, but not like something that I'm a very spiritual person, and when it comes to spiritual matters, I sort of take it seriously. And at that time, I was having like a sort of a sore throat, a really bad sore throat. I was having a sore throat, and I was really like panicked, and I was like, oh my god, what if I am sick? I don't want like to find myself in the situation that I am being like isolated, or like in quarantine, or like sick, like with tubes or pipes in my nose. So we have a prayer room, like an upper room in our office. It's a prayer room. So I told her, honestly, I'm having like a sore throat, and I feel sort of scared. Can you pray for me? Because she told me her blood can be used to cure like people with COVID-19. And I'm not saying that I was having COVID-19, and then again, I don't know, okay? Because I had like the sore throat. That was the only symptom that I have that was related to COVID-19. So we went into the prayer room, and I asked her, please pray for me. And it had gotten to a point that when I tried to swallow food, it was sort of painful. We prayed, and she prayed for me. Actually, at that time, I had to humble myself and just let her take the lead. And she prayed for me, and she prayed, and I really just felt the move of God and the power of God as she was praying. And honestly, it took some time, maybe more than 30 minutes. And by the end of that prayer session, the sore throat was gone completely. The sore throat was gone completely. I've not had it again. I've not had a single symptom. And somebody could say that maybe I was just like imagining things, whatever, you can call it whatever you want. But that day, not only did she pray for me, but she prayed, and we all prayed. Actually, we it was like a prayer of agreement, and we prayed for everyone like living in our compound. We prayed for all our colleagues, whether they are believers or they are non-believers, because you get this, like, if one of us is affected, then all of us are affected. So we prayed really, really, really went down into prayer for everyone within our borders, and we said nobody else will be taken by an ambulance, nobody else will fall sick. Even if they had to test the whole population, nobody will be found positive. And we had to believe together with her. And I can say, like, the consecutive 2 weeks, honestly, there has been no one being taken by an ambulance, no one falling sick, coughing, or whatever. Like, and you can see that there is less fear, in people that are living within the camp. The people are less fearful. Of course, we are still observing all the precautionary measures, using masks and gloves and whatever, hand sanitizers, and just the social distancing. But people are less fearful, and people have just become really strong and accepted that the new normal is for us to just stay locked down for a little while until this whole thing is gone. So guys, that has been our situation around here. And what I'd like to encourage you is to just do not lose that little faith that you have. You can stand in for your colleagues, you can stand in for your friends, you can stand in for your family, you can pray for yourself, because God is over all. God is powerful. And sometimes he may shut his ears for a little while, because maybe there is something that he wants us to learn, or just he wants us to really depend on him and turn to him. And this is a time in our lives that we really, really need to turn to God and shun away from every other distractions in the world, shun away from evil especially, and just go to God, humble ourselves, and believe that he is the only one that is able. Before I finish, I remember when things were getting really bad around us, there was one lady that was expectant, and she was in the verge of losing her pregnancy, and she was bleeding, and she's not even a Christian, she's maybe Hindi or whatever. But the situation was really bad, and I was in that room, and I was asking myself, now, what am I supposed to do, Lord? What am I supposed to do? And the rest of her friends were around her, and they were all of the same faith. And I asked this lady, can I pray for you? And she was like, yeah. And that is all I could do at that time. And I started praying and praying, and I just told God, show yourself strong among these people. You are the God of heaven. Show yourself strong, and don't let this lady lose her child. Just whatever is happening, God, just intervene and save the life of the child, and save the life of this lady, and just let her be okay. So when she went to the hospital, she ended up testing positive for the COVID. But from what I understand, she did not lose the child, and she is recovering. So there is power in prayer. Like, we believers, this is the time that we really need to prove our faith, that we really need to let God use us in various different ways, to pray for one another, to pray for the weak, or for the faint in heart, to stand in the gap for the entire universe, for the entire world. And God can really use us to heal this land. It is not going, science has not been able to do anything so far, and the only thing that has enabled people to overcome this situation right now is their immune system. And honestly, when it comes to immunity, that is something that is very natural, and that is just only God can give you that strong immunity and can help your body to fight against the enemy within. So let us stay strong, continue to believe in God, stand in faith, pray for one another. Even for the people that do not believe, this is the time to really draw them close to God and pray for them. You don't have to go and preach to them, but just pray for them, that God may intervene for them and for us and for the entire world, and that sooner rather than later this whole situation may be behind us. Thank you so much for watching this video. I just thought to check in a little bit, and I hope all of you guys are staying safe. And if at all maybe you are sick, or maybe you have a loved one that is sick, continue to trust in God, that the God that healed, the God that healed me from the sore throat. I don't want to say COVID-19 because I was not tested. The God that healed me from the sore throat, the God that healed that lady from what could have been whatever, it's the same God yesterday, today, and forever. And what he can do, or what he has done for me, he can do for you. He can do for your mother, for your neighbor, and for everyone else around the world. And God bless you guys. And yeah, I'll see you on another video. Bye.